Hello, we are Team NITDominars and today we are excited to showcase our AI interviewer built for CodeForBharat. Let's begin by registering a new username CodeForBharat, and once registered we land on the dashboard. To schedule an interview, simply enter the role you are applying for and upload your resume. The system will automatically generate a set of tailored questions to interview. We'll give it a moment to load the questions. And now that they are ready, we can start the interview. Let's start. Alright, so the interview has been completed, and I'll show you the system now is processing the results in the terminal. The results are in. Now we start with the overall score, which is an average of 3 metrics: integrity, content, and delivery, along with a summary of the interview. Next, we have personalized feedback and a question by question analysis evaluating each response for relevance, confidence, and clarity. Finally, there is a behavioral section which detects any sign of suspicious behavior during the interview and scores based on that. Thank you for watching our demo.